And you brought up Scott Boras. This does seem like it's getting a little weird because Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, Matt Chapman, JD Martinez, there's a lot of those guys are all undeniably good baseball players that would help majority of teams they joined. Yet here we are on the doorstep of March. And this isn't like the Bryce Harper thing.
Nope.
Where you like knew he was just trying to get, over 300 million and it goes into March. This seems like it's Scott Boras's plan. I don't want to say backfiring because he's really good, but like this does seem weird at this point.
Yeah.
And now you have to look at like true teams that can contend with money. Why are they not like knocking these guys' doors down right now? How many teams out there can actually afford these guys and are a contending team? I mean, off the top of my head, maybe the Giants, but they're not like real contenders.
Not in the immediate future.
The Rangers already said they're pretty much done with their spending. I would think the Seattle Mariners should get involved, maybe with like a Blake Snell or a Montgomery, and just really just go for it. But there's not a lot of teams that aren't kind of set that have money to spend, and I wonder what is like. I'd love to be in the room for some of these front office conversations about Boras agents and what they actually think. Like, is this he's got a stellar track record, obviously, but like it's a little weird that these three of his aren't signed yet, and like these were like the marquee guys on the market, and now you're like, okay, who's actually gonna go after him here?
I mean, we remember back in November, Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, we were looking at all the different free agents. It's like, whoa, there's a lot of big names out there. Where are they going to land? Who's gonna make the first move? Of course, with the Phillies signing Aaron Nola back, that alleviated any concerns or scares around who's going to be, the number 2 pitcher for the Phillies. But then we also were talking about, okay, well, when Shohei Ohtani moves, when Yamamoto moves, like things are going to open up, things are going to open up, things are going to open up. And we kept just saying that over and over again. And here we are into spring training. And now it's at a point, I don't imagine any team, as you mentioned, the list that we've heard, it's been the Angels, Giants, Yankees with Blake Snell.
Probably.
But it hasn't been a lot. There haven't been a lot of teams that we even heard. Forget the options they have. We haven't even heard reports around a lot of teams. The fact that the Phillies are a favorite for Jordan Montgomery means Jordan Montgomery's probably not going to get signed anytime soon, because these are teams that aren't really actively going to go out of their way to spend that big amount. They're going to try to wait because there's also not a need. Like the Phillies specifically, we can all agree Jordan Montgomery would be great to have, but he's not a necessity. You don't have to have him.
No, but the longer this takes, the more the market collapses.
Right,
on
but
them.
it's almost like teams that are interested in Boras's guys don't have an immediate urgent need to sign them, and they're not desperate to sign them, especially with how much money they're asking for. So it's a weird standoff that like there's no pressure on the side of the teams, but these guys need to find a team ASAP.
Yeah, it almost,
so their number needs to drop.
Like Scott Boras is always going to get the best players, so like teams are always going to be interested.
Yeah.
But it does feel like this is kind of a little bit of a middle finger from clubs to Boras.
That's what people were saying, that a lot of execs,
it feels like he's turning people off a little bit.
And a lot of execs have apparently been kind of exactly as you mentioned, Jamie, on the side of, nope, we know Scott Boras, we know how he operates, and we're not going to take the bait. We're going to just wait it out because the teams are fine. It's his guys that are sitting out there, jobless at this point.
And I'm with you, MBD. Like he said, I don't know how good of a player Matt Chapman actually is. Tremendous glove, pretty good player.
That's the other thing.
He says his OPS in a full season hasn't been above 800 since 2019. So like Scott Boras clearly, as any good agent does, overinflates their players' markets, and teams might be looking at Matt Chapman and he's looking for, say 6 years and $140 million or whatever. And teams are like, yeah, Matt Chapman ain't worth that, Scott. So like, go find another job somewhere else. And now you're almost at March. And these three guys, I do think Snell's going to be a Yankee, but Jordan Montgomery, Matt Chapman, and JD Martinez, I don't know where the hell these three are going to play.
And like Chris is saying, for someone like Montgomery, is he worth losing draft capital? He's saying in the chat, he's guessing his signing would put the Phillies over the next threshold. That's the other thing. Like teams, if you're going to go over that threshold with a signing, do you want it to be a 1-year guy? Do you want it to be someone that's, or someone else that maybe is a fit more for the future long term? So it does definitely seem like, and I know Dave Dewar, you mentioned teams are holding out. I do get the vibe they're holding out because they're tired of, feeling like they've been pressured by Scott Boras to spend, spend, spend. And nope, we're gonna show you.
Yeah.
So here we have it.
We'll see what happens there. I feel like we've said this every week for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. Like, this could be the week for Scott Boras clients. Like,
I don't
Cody Bellinger at
know.
least started it, and now maybe they're realizing Chapman isn't going to get as much as they want. Whatever, but we'll see if those
Yeah.
guys, get moving this week.